What is up, YouTube? Zukim one here, and I am back with a brand new YouTube video. Today I am bringing you guys part 3 of What Is Your Main Say About You Brawlhalla edition. So, just like I promised, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even have to wait 2 weeks. Honestly, I feel like I'm just giving you guys way too much, you know what I'm saying? I came back like stupid fast, but you know, these videos can get kind of long, so let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So first and foremost, we're gonna have to talk about one of the most slept on legend, in my personal opinion, in Brawlhalla. And even in the tournament casting, they've also said that she's a really slept on legend. We're gonna talk about Jala. Now, Jala is everything you could possibly want in an offensive character. She got really good base stats, right? She's offensively built, so she got great dexterity, great damage. Her speed is meh, but you know what I'm saying? The dexterity and the damage is what you really pick her for, right? Now, with that being said or whatever, right? She does not get picked that much. She is a ridiculously strong legend, but she is like nowhere to be found. So people who main Jala normally are people who looks for the diamonds in the rough, right? They look for characters that they know for a fact that other people aren't playing that much, and they plan on showing you why you should be playing that legend, right? Again, she is absolutely ridiculous, and then she got a dragon. And then on top of that, number 2 is probably because she has a fucking dragon that she uses as her attacks. Like, that's absolutely insane. Her weapon palette is straight up just murderous. She has a sword and an axe. Like, she is just straight barbaric to the core, right? Like, true to her character, she's a barbarian, right? There is no way to confuse her to be anything else but a barbarian. She even uses traditional barbarian weapons. Again, a sword and an axe. That's ridiculous, right? So that's Jala in a nutshell, right? She's really strong, really slept on, and has a fucking dragon, and she's a barbarian. On top of that, her stats are amazing. Now, on the core, right? If you main core, yeah, okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I hate this legend. I hate this legend with a passion. I feel like core is just so broken, in my opinion. Like, he's just so broken. But we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna go into my personal top 5 stuff of Brawlhalla in another video. Just know, I personally don't win that much against this legend. He's literally the legend I lose to the most in rank. But with that being said, what does it mean when you main core, right? When you main core, you picked him up for 2 reasons. You wanted a rock. That's it. You just wanted a rock. You were like, I'm going to rock this game. And you love rock puns. You look for every opportunity to try to come up with a rock pun. Ooh, I just rocked him. Bro, don't make me, boy, I'm finna show you what happens when you roll with the crew. Like, you just look for as many rock puns as possible. You're a very corny person, but you think it's funny, right? On top of that, he's strong. Like, he's really strong. He has really high defense. But then again, he's rock solid, right? Hey, so, you know, core is core. He's really strong. He has high defense, really great SIGs. Like, his SIGs are some of the worst to deal with. His neutral SIG on Gauntlet is one of the best neutral SIGs that I've seen in the game, honestly, besides Ragnar. Again, we're going to get on Ragnar later. If you saw the last video, you know that I have a lot to say about Ragnar, and we're going to get into him in this video, so don't worry. We're going to talk about Ragnar in a little bit. But, yeah. Core, he's just ridiculous. His neutral SIG on Gauntlet is crazy. His side SIG on Gauntlet is super fast, and it covers a big range, and it's a grab, right? It's not like it's just, hey, I'm gonna just throw this out there and worry about getting punished. He throws it out there and he moves closer to you, and he's rocking Gauntlet, so he wants to be closer to you. So I was like, oh yeah, because that's balance. Good job, Blue Mama. And then, you know, his down SIG covers a big hitbox on Gauntlets. And then his SIGs on Hammer, they're kind of lackluster. The best one in my opinion is his neutral SIG on Hammer, but his SIGs on Gauntlets make up for it in my personal opinion. And that's core in a nutshell. You know, strong legend. He takes a beating like no one else's business, but also can dish out just as much of a beating. His SIGs are really, really strong, and they come out pretty fast, so they don't really have too much recovery, so you can throw them out there pretty willingly and not really have to worry about too much of a beating. But even if you got a beating, he can take it as much as you would like. So on to the next legend, and we are going to be talking about Wu Shang. Now, if you main Wu Shang, then you must have heard this saying before. And if you haven't, you better get familiar with it. If there is a Wu Shang, there is a way. I'm going to leave it like that. Wu Shang is one of the most... He is one of the strongest legends, in my personal opinion. But he is not top 5, in my personal opinion. He's just really, really strong. Everything that you would want from a legend, everything that you would want a legend to be able to do, he can do. Right? He can play a keep away game. He can play an offensive game. He can play he can play however you want him to play. He is super versatile. His SIGs complement him so well. Like, there is not a single weak SIG on him. With that being said, the reason why he's not in my top 5 is because I feel like there's just certain pieces of his offense that's missing that prevents him from being in my personal top 5 of legends who are just absolutely cancerous to go against and just like the best legends, again, in my opinion, in this game, right? But Wu Shang is just strong. Like, you see him picked a lot in ranked. You see him picked in every single division. He offers a lot of versatility. And then on top of that, I mean, he's a fucking monk. Like, who doesn't like monks, right? He's rocking the young anal beads on his neck, you feel me? He got the young gauntlets that go into the woo, 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 you know, the side sig or whatever. And then you got the young, you got your, I mean, all his sigs are just really good, honestly. I can't really think of a bad sig on him. So, yeah, I mean, he's just really, really strong, really versatile. He could play a very, very cool game or whatever in terms of, like, whatever you want to play. So if you want to play keep away, you want to play offensively, you want to play a mix of passive slash aggressive, he can do that. He's just super versatile like that. So if you haven't picked a main yet, I would definitely recommend Wu Shang. He's a really good legend to learn to play. So with that being said, we're gonna get on to some people's most hated legend in the game, besides Hattori. Hattori is probably still gonna be people's #1, but she's a close second, like very, very close second. And we're talking about Val. Now, if you play Val, you saw a cybernetic ninja and you were like, wow, this is the character for me. She's so cool, so futuristic. She have a cybernetic core inside of her chest. Like, I wonder what she plays like. And then you did her SIGs. And there was no going back. You was like, oh my goodness, what are these SIGs? They're so strong. They're so good. The only SIG that I can think about that is not that good is probably neutral SIG on Gauntlet, but even then, that's still pretty fucking good. So you got a character, right, who can literally do everything that you want. She can go off stage and beat somebody's ass. She can stay on stage and beat somebody's ass. She can be aerial and beat somebody's ass. Her SIGs are that diverse. Like, I was like, wait, hold up. Let me understand this real quick. So this character can use their side SIG, and because they're on the edge of the map, the side SIG will go downwards and hit the person that's camping on the ledge. That's broken. That is absolutely broken. How do you, Blue Mammoth, how you going to get this person this particular kit, but you're not going to get nobody else something like that, where they automatically just go to the side of the map and be able to knock somebody off for trying to camp on the side of the map? I'm not mad. I'm just saying that's a little unfair that only this one legend has an ability like that. But, I mean, that's Val. She's really, really strong. Well, she's not really strong, right? You pick her for her speed and her defense, but her SIGs are so strong that offense, her 4 offense, don't even feel like it's 4. And I think if you take an offensive stand, it doesn't really negatively hurt you too much. So it's not that big of a deal. She's a really strong legend. If you haven't picked up a legend, I also would recommend Val as well. So 2 recommendations: Wu Shang and Val. Again, it sounds like I'm recommending spammers, but these legends, they are super diverse. They're picked a lot. Wu Shang isn't picked that much in pro leagues, but Val is because she offers a lot in terms of versatility. Again, you can play that passive aggressive type of play that is really effective in professional play right now. And now we're gonna get on to the legend that I've been hyping up the most so far, Ragnar. Now, Ragnar, right? He's a fucking dragon. What more do I need to say? I mean, it depends. If you played Skyrim, then you probably know him as an Argonian, but we're not gonna get on that right now. But yeah, so he's a fucking dragon. He breathes fire. His SIGs are ridiculous. His stats are incredible. Like his weapon palette is even more incredible. It's like they literally thought of a way to make a legend as broken as humanly possible. Ragnar is probably one of the best picks that you could pick in any meta. Doesn't matter if it's passive. Doesn't matter if it's aggressive. Just pick Ragnar. He's going to get you free low. He is strong. He is super strong. And again, this is my personal opinion. There's a little bit of a learning curve to it. A little bit. It's not super, super high, but it's a little bit of a learning curve to it. So you can feel skillful playing him. And you don't have to feel bad about wanting to play Ragnar. So, yeah. Ragnar is a fucking dragon. He breathes fire. He has an axe and kutars. What more do you need? I mean, those are the main 3 reasons why you probably picked him up. On top of that, he's fast, he's strong, he could take a beating, and he could throw out SIGs without too much punishment. Like, the dude is just, ugh. What were you thinking, Blue Mammoth? Like, this character is ridiculous. His neutral SIG tosses you so far down. Like, like, why does it toss you downwards? If it's a neutral SIG. You just do that when they're trying to get back onto stage. It has such a big active hitbox that they come up there, rah, boom, you're dead. You thought you was going to get back to the stage, but then that neutral SIG on Kutaris just knocked you down all the way to the bottom of the map. You know, have fun with that. And that's Ragnar in a nutshell. Now we're going to get on my boy Cross. Now, if you picked up Cross, you picked up Cross for one reason and one reason only. He's a gangster. He's a gangster who made a deal with the devil and ended up becoming an absolute boss. Like, he was just a regular street thug who was just running out there, didn't really have too much respect for nobody. Then he became the man himself, you feel me? The man calling the hits, the man doing all the... he ain't got to do the work no more because he got hitters. And he could do it himself. So it was like a perfect mix, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about his SIGs and everything else, right? So his SIGs are just dumb. His SIGs are dumb. I ain't gonna lie to you. The only reason why Cross isn't in my top is because I feel like even though his SIGs are dumb, I feel like there's just something missing about this legend that prevents him from being like super, super top tier. Like they use him in pro leagues and stuff like that just because his SIGs are really strong. But I don't know. I don't see him as much as like a Hattori or a Val or a Ryan, just because I feel like there's maybe they don't quite understand how to utilize his signatures that often. Like his down sig with the hand that comes up from the ground is it's not the most user friendly of the SIGs. So most people would think, oh, well, if the hand is just extending out, it'll stop when it gets to you. It doesn't. It's not like actively searching for an opponent, right? It's an active hitbox that you let go of, and then it hits the person wherever they are. So it's supposed to be for like campers, people who sit on the other side of the map. You know what I mean? Like people who want to play passive. Like, okay, well, I have a signature that can help me play as lame as you, because unfortunately Cross is an offensively built legend. Like, he can take a beating and he can dish out a beating, but he's more offensively built. So if he's more offensively built, then he's going to be looking to fight. He's not looking to run away. So with that being said, he's not going to want to sit on the other side of the map and play lame and then hope that his opponent get impatient and punish them. I mean, any legend can get away with playing lame, but I feel like Cross struggles with that, and I feel like that's why some people don't use him that much in ranked as well. So yeah, with Cross, pretty cool legend. He has some. He's a really cool designed. Uh, with the devil and the monster thing, I think that's a really cool idea. And on top of that, he has this whole like Two-Face thing with the coin thing or whatever. So he's a pretty cool legend. He's cool. He's cool as fuck. I'll give him that. And yeah, that's Cross in a nutshell. All right, we're gonna get on to Mirage, the very first Scythe legend in the game. Now, if you picked up Mirage, it's because you're probably just like me. You wanted to pick up a new weapon, and you were like, man, Mirage looks like she is going to be so good, right? So Mirage, when first introduced or whatever, she was the first legend to have a scythe, and you were like, man, I can't wait to play her. Then when you actually started playing her, you were like, oh man, these SIGs, they're kind of weird, right? They're not easy to pull off. Her side SIG on her scythe goes past people a lot. And her down SIG on scythe, it's like a small hitbox. Like, it's like right on top of you. Her neutral SIG on scythe is only really meant for combos. So you got a pretty unique legend when it came to her scythe SIGs. Her neutral SIG on spear is redonkulous. It has a huge hitbox. It spreads across the map, and she's kind of almost invulnerable. Kind of almost. She's not invulnerable. You can hit her out of it, but it's hard to hit her. So she's kind of almost invulnerable just because it's hard to hit her when she does a neutral sig on her spear. Her side sig on spear isn't all that cracked up. I mean, it's good as an edge guard, but you gotta be on top of the hitbox. So like, you can't go over them, because you can actively jump over them. So you gotta make sure you aim it exactly correct. So again, she's not that easy to pull off. On top of that, her down sig on spear is kind of the same as the down sig on scythe. It's a hitbox that just hits and protects you. Right, you just throw it down when they're right on top of you and you want some space. So again, Mirage is not the most easiest legend to play. But with that being said, she is definitely some of the most fun to play, right? And here's another cool fact, right? If you play her, you're going to have the time of your life. She is so much fun to play. And she's also has some of the coolest looking SIGs in the game. I'm not saying they are the absolute coolest, but they are really fucking cool to look at. Like her neutral SIG on scythe, when she sticks out the sand clone, and then she catches you with it, and then turn around and comes back herself. That's the coolest shit I ever seen in a video game. Like, Blue Mammoth, round of applause. That was some cool shit right there, dude. But yeah, that's Mirage. She's a sand she's a sand character. So like all my Naruto's out there, or my Naruto fans, whatever you want to call yourself, there's your Gara, except she's a female. Yeah, she was the first legend of a scythe, and she's pretty difficult to master. No legend is hard to use, but she was difficult to master. And now we're on to my first legend in the game, and also my first main in the game, Nyx. Now, if you main Nyx, there are the main three things that appealed you to Nyx was probably one of the three things. She was a hardcore edgelord. She has some really, really dope ass looking SIGs. And on top of that, she has a scythe and blasters. I mean, that was the main three things that I had picked her for. And on top of that, in case you're wondering why I keep calling Nyx a she, because a lot of people don't know this, Nyx is a girl. She is definitely a girl. She is 3,000 years old. If you don't know, please, I highly recommend you to read the lore. Uh, she is definitely a girl. Uh, so yeah, Nyx has everything you could possibly want and a legend. She's probably one of the most used legends in the game across all elos and higher and pro leagues and everything else in between. She get picked a lot because she just has so much versatility. She doesn't hit that hard, but you can take an offensive stance, which only minus her defense by 1, and then she has 5 on attack, 5 dexterity, 6 defense, and 6 speed. So she's fast as fuck. She has a lot of defense. She has great offense, and she has great dexterity. If you took that stance right, then you can also take a hit to your offense, go more of a dexterity route, try to spam those SIGs, right? I wouldn't recommend that though. I've had personal experience with that. It's not her SIGs aren't spammable, in my personal opinion. Other people think, oh, Nyx, her SIGs are so spammable, but somebody who's been using her for months, I've never been able to spam her SIGs. Like I've never just been able to just sit there and just like neutral sig, neutral sig, neutral sig, neutral sig. Neutral sig doesn't even do anything. It's an active hitbox. Like you just throw it out there. If they don't land in a hitbox, they're not gonna get hit. So you just like you throw it out there, but it doesn't do anything. Her side sig, if I'm too close, I won't hit you. Like at all. Like I just will not hit you. So I would literally just I would whiff it every single time. Her down sig on Scythe, it'll hit you, but I mean, it's kind of slow but fast at the same time. So it's slow on startup, fast as fuck when you throw it out. So it's one of those types of sigs, right? Then her blasters, her neutral sig is literally just like her neutral sig on Scythe. It's a hitbox. If you land in the hitbox, you're gonna get fucked up. If you don't land in the hitbox, then I'm open for a punishment. Just as simple as that. Her side sig is the same as Sight. If I'm too close, I whiff it every single time. If I'm literally right on top of you, I'm going to whiff it. You have to have a little bit of distance between you and that opponent. And then her down sig on blasters is the same story as her down sig on Sight. It's pretty spam. You can spam that, but it's not the. I mean, it has its downfalls. I mean, but once you released it, it's pretty fucking broken. Because like it's active. It's active once you pull. When she start pulling up, and then it's active when the ghost specters stuff start pulling out of it. So it's pretty fucking good. It's actually really good. But that's about it. Like Nyx isn't that great in terms of her SIGs, but what she doesn't have in SIGs, she makes up for in raw versatility. And she's just really, really strong, right? She's fast. She has great defense. She can hit okay. And her SIGs are pretty good. And again, they're not spammable. They're something that you have to strategically plan out or whatever. It's not something that you can just throw out and be like, ha ha ha, neutral SIG, right? So that's Nyx in a nutshell. Now we're going to get on my boy, Mordax. Now, if you picked up Mordax, it's because you're a werewolf fan, right? You love werewolves. You love the whole Teen Wolf thing, or you like the whole diverse look that he had to him and things of that nature. He just looked really cool. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. He looks really cool. His design is probably one of the best in the game, honestly. Where he looks like he was like a high school student who transformed into a werewolf and made it up here to Brawlhaven. Brawlhalla, I guess that's what they call it. I mean, like, I forget, is it Valhalla? Valhalla, and then they just call it a place where they fight Brawlhalla? I forget. I'm not that familiar with the lore all the time. I just looked up Nyx's lore because I was super obsessed with her. But yeah, so you got a werewolf with ridiculously strong SIGs. Like all his SIGs are really, really good, except his neutral SIG on Gauntlets, in my opinion. He's offensively built, but he can be played in however you want to play him. You can play him passively. You can play him offensively. You can play him with a passive-aggressive type of thing or whatever. His scythe combos are insane. I don't know if you guys know this, but they just recently had the NA. They had the NA championships. I can't remember the guy's name, but he went all the way to the finals. He lost to Boomy, but I mean it's Boomy. Boomy is ridiculous. Um, he's the bad guy of Brawlhalla, in case you guys don't know. So if you're new to the series, Boomy is the bad guy of Brawlhalla. But yeah, this guy took Mordex all the way to the grand finals, styling on everybody he fought against all the way up into the grand finals. Like, he is ridiculous. Like, his neutral sig is great. His side sig is really good. His down sig is great, right? All of those are like ones that you can just throw out and not really worry about too much punishment. They're pretty safe. They're pretty safe. The main reason why is because they have active hitboxes. So when they come out, they're still active, even though you don't see it. So you can land into it and be like, what the fuck? How did I get hit? Oh, you ran into my hitbox. But your move already went by. Yeah, it kind of lingers a little bit. Sorry about that. We should have probably told you that. All right. So, yeah. And then his gauntlets are... his gauntlets are insane. I feel like he's one of the most broken legends in terms of like weapon choices, because gauntlets are stupid easy to use, and then scythe is really difficult to use. So when you add those two together for a high level player, they just absolutely style on everything that moves. So yeah, that's Mordex. Now we're getting on to Yumiko. Now Yumiko, you picked up because you're into yokais, you're into Japanese spirits and things of that nature, and you're also into Japanese folklore. So she's based off the fox spirit that's supposed to bring you over into the afterlife and things of that nature, and she has a really cool design. And if you guys know anything about Yumiko, people tend to like Yumiko because of Lil Yumiko. If you haven't seen that, oh boy, you're missing out. That's probably one of the best skins in the game. She looks really, really cute. Now, on to Yumiko's design and character. So, she's a really, 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 really diverse legend. And I say that because she does not excel in defense, nor does she excel in offense, right? But she's fast, and her dexterity makes up for all the damage that she's lacking. So she can just throw out SIGs without too much worry. Her SIGs are not the easiest to hit, though, on hammer. So her neutral SIG is pretty unique. It's like, you can throw it out, but like if they don't jump, then you just completely whiff. Her side SIG is a straight line. So it goes straight, and then it hits them from behind. So if they dodge the moment you get behind them, you're open for an attack. It's pretty good off stage because it's pretty fast, so you can catch them off guard like that. But other than that, you're probably not going to be able to catch that SIG too often. Then you have your down SIG, which I think is pretty unique because it's strictly just setup. You toss out three fires in front of you, and those three fires that's in front of you are really used for like just setting yourself up for a neutral SIG or setting yourself up for a side SIG because they're caught in a hit stun. So in case if you're new to fighting games, hit stun is when you get caught in a situation where you can't use your defensive options. In this game, it's dodging. So you wouldn't be able to dodge if you get caught with the down SIG, so you can chain into your neutral SIG or into your side SIG to bring in that potential damage, right? But you didn't pick Yumiko for her hammer. Let's be real. You picked Yumiko for her bow. And her bows is where she shines the most. Neutral SIG, she is literally invulnerable. Do not try to trade with that. You will get punished every single time. Well, she's not invulnerable, but the bow, she becomes the bow herself, and it's fast, and it's not easy to punish. The only thing that successfully punishes it is long-range weapons like lance or blasters. Do not try to punish it with any type of melee weapons. You will be very sorely upset. Um, Two, her side sig on bow. It's the exact same thing as her neutral sig, except it shoots straight across, and it's faster than her neutral sig, surprisingly. Again, only um, blasters and lance can truly counter those moves. Do not try to counter it with anything else. You will be sorely disappointed. Her down sig is the exact same though on her hammer, where it just comes out and knocks you up, put you in a hit stun, and then you got options. Right? You can go side light into down light into neutral light into recovery, or you can go side light into down light into side sig. So she's pretty diverse. She's that you pick her for her utility, not for her damage or for her defense, because she doesn't take too much of a beating, nor does she dish out that much of a beating. But she's super diverse and she's pretty easy to. Once you get a hang of her, she's pretty easy to use. So that's Yumiko in a nutshell. And now on to the last legend of the video, Artemis. Artemis. If you picked up Artemis, it's because you wanted to go fast. Let's be real. You picked up Artemis because you wanted to be just like Lucian, except you're into space. Yeah. You can literally see the galaxy in her armor. That is so fucking cool. Honestly, if I didn't pick up Nyx first, I would have picked up Artemis, which is surprising because both of them are pretty much Scythe legends, and both of them are pretty they're pretty up there in terms of pick rate. People pick them a lot across all elos, so from all the way down to 10, all the way up to diamond, right? So she's picked in all elos. She's picked in pro series and stuff like that or whatever. She's just really good. Her skill set, you don't really need to tweak that much. For defense, surprisingly, she could take a hit. She could take a hit. She's just like Yumiko. Like, it says that her base stat is 4 in terms of defense, but surprisingly, they can take way more than what it says on paper. It might be one of those little glitches in the system where it says that they can take more of a beating than what it actually says on their stats, but we're not going to get into that. So look-wise, she looks stupid cool. She looks like a Power Ranger, but like a Lost in Space type of Power Ranger? I don't know. Let's just say she looks really cool. And then, let's get on to her SIGs, right? Her neutral sig on Scythe, it's pretty good. It's just an arc that you pull out, so you can use it to anti-air. You can use it in a combo. You can use it to punish people who just want to jump a lot. So it's pretty diverse. Her side sig on Scythe is probably one of my favorites in the game. It comes at you in a straight line, and when it hits, it forces you back so far. You would swear up and down that Artemis has way more offense than what she actually has, because of how far you get pushed back with the side sig on her. It's ridiculous. And then her down sig is really, really good. She shoots down like a spear that she shoots down the spear. And surprisingly, in case you didn't know, it's like a splash zone. So if you're close enough, regardless of if you're behind her or not, you're gonna get hit because it pulls you in. So if you're on the edge of the map, she can pull you like that. If you're in front of her, she can pull you like that, and if you're behind her, she can pull you like that. It's actually one of the dumbest down sigs in the game, in my opinion. So her side sig is the coolest to me. Well, yeah, her side sig is the coolest to me, and then her down sig is probably one of the most dumbest to me. Yeah, I don't think anybody else's down sig besides Diana is as dumb. But yeah, now onto her lance. Her neutral sig is okay. It's just like it's the same as her down sig. She shoots out the little orb, but it's fast, right? So you really use that as a quick punishment. So you can throw that out there. Don't really have to worry about it too much. You throw it out there, try to catch him. If you don't catch him, don't worry about being punished, right? It's a pretty quick utility to use to punish somebody for being above you. You can also use it as a combo extender. It's not the easiest to pull off with Lance, because Lance combos are pretty weird. They're not hard once you learn Lance, but they're not easy by any sense. Side sig, it's not that great, but it's quick, right? It just comes out, pew! It's just a little orb in front of you, and if you hit it, it'll force him back, and it comes out stupid fast. But again, you could be punished because even though it comes out fast, the recovery on it is not that great. So I wouldn't recommend just throwing out her side sig all willy nilly on Lance. Her down sig on Lance is again arguably one of the best. It comes out and it shoots in a straight line, but downwards and across. So all of the beam that she's shooting out could hit you, and all of the beam that she's hitting out could knock you downwards. It's really, really crazy, actually. It's like a big ass wall of hitbox and active hitbox frames. It's not fun to deal with. It's not. I've experienced it quite a few times. It's not that fun. But that's Artemis in a nutshell. So that is everybody for this video today. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. But this has been Zukim1, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
It doesn't make you strong.